Talk about current events, and this is a big thing that just happened. Congressman Jason Chaffetz, really good to have you in studio here with us, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas
by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a fun season to be around. You know, we hear about this decision. You've been very involved with this issue. What do you think about the federal court's ruling today?
I think it was the right decision. I think it shows that Governor Herbert did do the right thing. There's nothing sacred or written in stone that says all of the federal funds should go to just Planned Parenthood. There are community health centers throughout this state that would do a very good job providing needed services for women's health care and other screening types of services for cancer. So it doesn't have to go to Planned Parenthood, and I think that's the point.
I put this out on Twitter, and there was a local doctor who tweeted back to me saying, make sure he responds and says, you know, what he thinks should happen for all of the people who get services around the state from Planned Parenthood. They provide, you know, whatever you think about abortion or even or you know, or other things, you know, that they provide a lot of service to poor Utahns.
Well, there are, for instance, cancer screenings. But let's remember, overall, Planned Parenthood takes in $100 million more in revenue than it does its expenses. So it can cover these expenses if it wants to. They have very healthy hundreds of millions of dollars in endowments. But let's remember that the federal dollars that are going into this will still likely be distributed. They just won't necessarily go through an organization that a lot of people find highly offensive.
And you played a big role in this, having hearings with the Oversight Committee. Caught a lot of flack for those hearings. Any regrets on how you handled that?
No, look, we were challenging the notion that an organization should be funded by the federal government, and I'm glad we did that. I had put up this chart that had two different lines, and people were critical of that. The numbers were accurate. The numbers were correct. I think we need to challenge the notion. Because you're a not-for-profit organization, why do you necessarily get a federal tax benefit and federal tax dollars? We went after the NFL for very similar types of things. Then we started to go after Planned Parenthood, and some people say, whoa, you can't touch Planned Parenthood. Yes, we can, and we should have that discussion.
You know, I wanted to ask you about the presidential race, Donald Trump in particular, who is not popular in Utah. We just found out from a Dan Jones poll this week. He is in 4th place among Utah Republicans, very different from where he is nationally. You've been critical of him. What do you think of him? Would you support him if he won the nomination?
I think where I've been critical are some of his statements, and that's where we got to get away from what I see a lot of the Democrats do, which is the attacks on the person, and talk about the public policy. And when he suggested that there should be a religious litmus test on whether or not you can come to the United States, I thought that was a bridge too far. I disagree with the policy. Now, his tenacity in cutting through red tape, that appeals to a lot of people. There are parts of it that appealed to me, but I think let's look at public policy and get a good, qualified presidential candidate and somebody to replace Barack Obama. That's my goal.
Another big issue, BYU. You actually have a teammate here at Fox 13.
Yes.
You played for BYU. You were a kicker. You still hold the record for the most field goal attempts in a game, the most made in a game.
Extra points.
I'm sorry, extra points.
Against Utah.
You don't have to say who it was against.
It was in the good old days.
When you guys could actually beat us.
We scored 70 points and had to slow it down.
We're going to take a walk right now. I'm going to take you for a walk here. Brett Benson is standing by. Oh, hey, who's that? Who's that kicking that extra point?
I hope I made it.
Is that...
I didn't take off my helmet, did I?
Okay, now you've met Brett Benson here.
Of course.
When you ran back onto the field and he was sitting on the bench.
Am I on this side, that side?
Come on back. Back here so we can see you.
I think it's important to point out it was PATs and not field goals, because back then we didn't have to kick field goals against
Ty Detmer was the quarterback, and we just scored at will.
You know what? Here, we're going to see if you still have it, okay? We've got you want the small, big football.
Are they properly inflated?
You know, Brett Benson is in charge here.
They look authentic to me.
Okay, so you go ahead. Brett is your field goal.
All right.
I'm going to stand back.
Let's go for the small one first.
Okay. Oh, that was close. It was off the post.
I think it was. It was a doink.
But it was a little bit.
I actually missed one at Miami, and the referee said, because it went right over the post, and the referee said, that's not good in Miami. So, but in Utah, that was good. Okay, ready? Oh, clearly good.
Brett and I tried that over and over again and missed every single one. You still got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Nice to
Christmas.
have you here.
Thank you.